It's high school graduation night. We get to know the main character. His name is Denis. He is a loser who is hopelessly in love with the main school beauty. He recalls a conversation he had with his best friend named Rich. The latter advises him to confess his feelings, otherwise he will regret it for the rest of his life. Having gained the courage, Denis goes on stage to give his farewell speech at the graduation ceremony. He confesses his love to his classmate Beth Cooper. The girl is very surprised. Denis invites everyone to confess to each other what they are hiding, no matter what it is: mental problems, anorexia, or a different orientation. The graduates go outside, take pictures, and greet each other. One of the teachers scolds Denis for his speech, but recalls that she herself was once in love. And then Beth Cooper comes up to our hero and takes off her graduation gown, wearing only a t-shirt and short shorts. Denis invites the girl to his house for a party. Beth promises to think about it, but it's clear that she's not really interested. In addition, her friends show up and grab the guy by the throat. One of them, Kevin, meets up with Beth. He throws Denis to the ground and threatens him with violence. One of the teachers comes to the rescue and the boy is released. Our hero and his friend go home and talk about everything. Denis is preparing for the party. He cleans up, puts drinks and snacks on the table. He is so excited that he is even sweating, and he has to take off his shirt to air it out. Denis' parents come in, straighten their son's pants, and advise him to change his underwear. They allow the boys to take one bottle of champagne and wish them a good time. Now it's X hour. The boys are standing outside waiting for Beth. Suddenly, a blue car appears on the road and speeds toward their house. Beth gets out of the car in an open red dress, and her friends, who are just as beautiful as she is, get out with her. The girls enter the house and see that no one is there but Denis and Rich. The boys offer the girls snacks and try to start a conversation, but they are not very good at it. Beth and her friends are very bored. The guys get out the champagne, and while Denis is opening the bottle, Rich finds some change in the nightstand. He runs into the living room with them, and at that moment, a champagne cork hits Denis right in the head. Beth puts a cookie from the fridge on his bruise and comforts him, saying that not only he, but all the guys are completely hopeless. The girl sits right on top of him, and Denis has a reaction that makes him very embarrassed, but Beth is amused. The girls find the same razor blades, blow up balloons, and are about to leave. At this time, another car pulls up to Denis's house. It's Kevin and his friends. They park right on the lawn. One of his friends, Beth, happily opens the door and invites the boys inside. Denis scaredly drags her inside. Our hero asks him not to open the door, otherwise Kevin will beat him up. Denis runs around the house in a panic, closing the windows, but one door remains open, and the main beauty's boyfriend enters the house. Kevin throws a vase at the wall, then grabs a bottle of champagne and throws it at Denis. Our hero miraculously manages to dodge it. Other bottles and even kitchen appliances fly at him. Denis and Rich try to escape. They climb the stairs and look for something to fight off the bully. They come across a lightsaber. Kevin knocks down the door, and Denis points his sword at him. The bully is not confused. He tears off the arms of the skeleton standing in our hero's room and uses them as a weapon. A fight breaks out between the boys. Rich, who has been hiding in the closet all this time, runs out of the hiding place and jumps out the window. Denis is pushed against the wall, but Beth comes to the rescue. She bursts into the room, tears off the skeleton's skull, and hits Kevin on the head with all her might. The bully falls down, and Denis escapes to the roof through an open window. But Kevin quickly comes to his senses, grabs a lightsaber, and throws Denis off the roof. The boy falls right into the rose bushes, and their thorny spikes dig into his arms and face. It is very painful, but Denis crawls to Rich, who is lying next to him. Luckily, both boys are relatively unharmed and can run on. They jump over the fence and hide. Kevin and his friends go looking for them. Denis runs out onto the road, and at that moment he is hit by a car driven by Beth. The girl and her friends drag the boy into the car, and Rich has to come along. The car takes off running. Kevin and his gang try to catch up, but they fail. Our heroes are saved, although, given the way Beth drives, this is not certain. Denis asks for a phone to call his parents. They are having a romantic date in the car at the moment, so his father doesn't answer the phone. Suddenly, Beth realizes that Kevin can track her through GPS and throws the phone out the window. The boys turn on the music and sing along. They arrive at a gas station to buy beer and chips. The cashier refuses to sell alcohol to minors, and Beth promises him a passionate kiss if he does. This behavior of his favorite girl upsets Denis very much. The company pulls over to the side of the road, lights a fire, and opens bottles of beer. Beth does it with her teeth. Denis tries to repeat it and breaks one of his last baby teeth. Beth's friends and Rich decide to go for a walk and find a pasture with cows. They get closer, and Rich steps into something. Left alone, Denis and Beth talk about their plans for the future. Meanwhile, Rich and Beth's friends are trying to turn the cow over. Yes, that's right. They wanted to see if they could flip it. Of course, they don't succeed. and then they are attacked by the leader of the herd. They have to run for their lives. The boys set off again, and Beth, as usual, is a bad driver. She even turns off her headlights and crashes into another car. Dennis's father and mother get out of the wrecked car. While our hero's father pulls up his pants, Beth and the boys quickly run away. They arrive at the party of another local star. There is a huge crowd and unrestrained fun. Beautiful women are swimming in the pool, and Beth and her friends are immediately surrounded by a crowd of guys. Dennis is looking for the restroom, and at that moment a big guy named Greg grabs him and drags him into one of the empty rooms. Our hero thinks that Greg is going to beat him up, but he suddenly starts crying right on Dennis's chest. It turns out that the guy has serious mental problems. Dennis goes out to the common room and picks up some snacks with Rich. Several girls approach them, and our hero finds out that Kevin is also here. The guys realize that they need to run away. Unfortunately, they don't have time. Kevin and his friends surround Dennis and drag him into the living room, where they start kicking him around like a ball. The soccer coach announces the start of the match, but Dennis refuses to fight. He admits defeat but still gets hit in the face. Suddenly, Greg appears in the living room. Seeing that Denny is being beaten, he rushes to his aid and knocks down Kevin and his friends. Moreover, he knocks out even the soccer coach. Kevin gets up and throws himself at Greg, but a few blows, and the big guy is on the floor too. The bully approaches Denis, and our hero realizes that he has no chance. And then something incredible happens. A car driven by Beth enters the living room. She calls Denis with her, and our beaten hero drives away with the girl of his dreams. Beth's friends, Rich of course, go with them. A frantic race through the city begins. The car pulls up to the school. Beth has the keys, and they get in. In the gym, the girls put on a real show for the boys. They dance and sing songs, as they have done many times before as cheerleaders for the local soccer team. Denise smiles, but suddenly notices tears in Beth's eyes. The girls run to the shower. Dennis follows them and sees them in their towels, but they are not ashamed at all. Beth throws off her towel, and our hero is completely confused. The beauties invite the boys to bathe with them. Denis sees Beth's underwear on the bench and decides to seize the moment. He begins to undress, and suddenly Kevin and his buddies appear in the locker room. One punch and our hero is on the floor again. Rich rushes to the rescue and hits the bullies with a wet towel right in the groin. It turns out that he has been training since he was a kid to learn how to use a towel as a real weapon. While the towel battle continues, Denise and Beth and their friends try to escape. Rich is invincible. He scatters the bullies in all directions and runs outside wearing only one towel. His friends are waiting for him there. They drive around the city and try to figure out what to do next. They put tampons in Denis' nose to stop the bleeding. Beth says that the guy stinks and demands that he take off his shirt. She then accidentally throws it out the car window. They stop to find it, and the whole company sees Denis's underwear. They are very funny, and everyone starts laughing. Beth wraps the boy in her pink poncho. Together they go in search of the shirt and find it. But then an evil raccoon appears, and the boys run away in terror. The group arrives at the house of one of Beth's friends, which is filled with horrible stuffed animals. The guys pour themselves alcohol and toast to the best night ever. Dennis and Beth go outside to watch the sunrise. Talking about life, they reach the pier. At this time, Rich is making Beth's friends laugh. He sits down between them and feels like a real king of life. The girls begin to seduce him. They lick his cookies sweetly and unbutton his shirt. The guy is unable to resist. However, everything happens too fast, and the girls are not very happy. But the dawn is really very beautiful. Dennis confesses that he still loves Beth, although she turned out to be nothing like he imagined. They share their first kiss. The next morning, Dennis's parents are cleaning up the mess in their house. A car pulls up, and our hero gets out with Rich, Beth, and her friends. The boy's father is not very happy about this company, but the main thing is that his son had a good time. Dennis and Beth say goodbye and wish each other good luck. She kisses him passionately and thanks him for his love. They agree to meet in many years at a reunion and get married if they are both free by then.